For a long time, the Acura MDX has been the best-selling luxury three-row crossover, offering an amazing blend of affordability, luxury, and practicality. Acura has really been on top of their game updating their MDX, and that is clearly shown in this 2025 Acura MDX Advance. The MDX has been refreshed for the 2025 model year, and they have packed in many new features that might make it invincible. With all the new tech and luxury the MDX is now offering, is this the next luxury SUV you should put in your garage? Let's go ahead and find out. As always, let's begin by discussing the pricing and the trim level. This has been slightly revised for 2025 because you can now get the A-Spec Advance on the MDX. This trim level was first debuted on the RDX and it was pretty popular, so no wonder Acura brought it to the MDX as well. You can now get the sporty and aggressive design of the A-Spec and the luxurious interior of the Advance model in one package. The A-Spec Advance is kind of the replacement for the base Type S model since that is no longer available. You can now only get the Type S Advance. For 2025, the starting price of all the trim levels went up by $1,000, and this tester is sitting in at $68,250 US. Let's go ahead and see what you get for that money. The MDX still has a bold design for 2025. You get a new pattern on your diamond pentagon grille, functional vents at the bottom, and newly functional vents underneath the headlights. Speaking of the headlights, they're going to look really nice. They will be fully LED with a chicane daytime running light, jewel-eyed projector-style LED headlamps, fog lights at the bottom, and an LED turn signal. This headlight design is an Acura signature and I think they look really nice. I would like to see animations though in the coming years. The 20-inch alloy wheels on the side go unchanged besides for a slight difference in the finish. You can get these same exact wheels on the A-Spec Advanced trim level, but they will be finished in gloss black instead. Moving on to the side profile, the Advanced model is going to get new painted fenders and moldings at the bottom for 2025, and you will still continue to have a chrome molding at the bottom as well as chrome surrounding the windows. The mirrors are going to be fully loaded with heating, blind spot monitoring, auto dimming, and power folding. The blind spot monitoring is going to be located on the inside of the vehicle. You can also program the car to fold in the mirrors when you lock the car and unfold them when you unlock the car. At the back, you're going to find dual exhaust at the bottom, chrome trim under the tailgate, and the taillights are going to be mostly unchanged. You now get a smoked finish for a sportier design, but they are still going to be fully LED with an LED brake light, an LED reverse light, and an LED turn signal. I feel like the brake light at the top looks really nice, and the taillight accenting also looks really nice at night. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the interior, which of course is the star of the show on this MDX Advance, and see what kind of changes Acura made for 2025. For $68,000, there is a lot that you get for your money. This espresso color on the inside is by far my favorite out of the MDX lineup. The door panel is mostly the same with brown leatherette, soft touch plastic on the upper part, and metal speaker grille, new open pour wood trim, memory seating for 3, all of your switchgear in the normal position, and a ton of storage at the bottom. You cannot, however, fit a large water bottle in the door pockets. These espresso brown leather seats finished in premium Milano leather are absolutely gorgeous and super comfortable. You now get quilting through the center area, black piping and contrast stitching, heating, ventilation, 16 ways of power adjusting, and new massaging. Yes, you heard me right, you can now get massaging on the standard MDX as long as you get the A-Spec Advance or the Advanced models. You don't need to upgrade to the $75,000 Type S model just to get it. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the features this MDX has to offer. Starting with the steering wheel, it's going to be very nice weather wrapped and heated. You're also going to find plastic paddles on the back, but they will be aluminum on the A-Spec, A-Spec Advance, and the Type S models. It is also going to be power adjusting, and overall it feels very nice in the hand, and the buttons are very easy to figure out. The gauge cluster looks quite nice. There is a little car in the middle, so if you ever wondered what other people are seeing, you will not have to wonder anymore. This car actually reflects what is going on the outside of the car, so if I put my brake lights on, the brake lights on the little car are going to show up. Same with the headlights and the turn signal. In addition to having that little party trick of the car in the middle, there is also a good amount of customization. When you switch the drive modes, the gauge cluster is also going to switch. And when you go into settings, You can go to gauge layouts, and then you can choose between two different designs. I personally prefer Advance because this is the MDX Advance. Materials in this car are going to be top notch. The dashboard is finished and stitched leatherettes. You get new open portalwood trim for 2025, a lot of gloss black, and you also have some leatherette padding to rest your knee against. There's some more gloss black through here, and you also have some matte black plastic on the center console.
And moving on to storage, this is actually going to be slightly improved for 2025.
There is no more touchpad, so that means you have a larger area to store something like a key fob. The wireless charger is going to be a little bit bigger. You also get two cup holders, and then you have a two-tier center console. So this is the first tier. You can store some pens or some cash in there. And then you also have a lower tier, and that is for larger items, and you also get two USB-C ports. There are more USB ports right here, and I like that they are nicely hidden. Moving on to the climate controls, I am very happy to say that Acura kept physical buttons and toggles for your climates. To adjust the temperature, you have these very high quality toggles, and they feel very nice. The rest of the buttons are going to be in gloss black, so you can adjust the fan speed, the mode, and you can also adjust the rear settings. The seats are going to have heating and ventilation, and you can also turn on auto, so the car is automatically going to adjust them based on the temperature from outside. There is a new button, however, because the MDX Advance now has power massage. This was previously only offered on the MDX Type S Advance, but this is now offered on the Advance and the A-Spec Advance. This is very nice because now you don't have to step up to the performance model to get this luxurious feature. Acura added this in 2022, and it is still absolutely amazing. You get about 8 different modes, and they really get in there. Of course, you can also adjust the intensity if you want to. It is very easy to operate this massage. You're just gonna hold the button to bring up the menu. The biggest change to the MDX has to be the new touchscreen. This is now a Google-based system, so you get Google apps like Google Assistant, Google Maps, and the Google Play Store. This works super well, and I have to say this is probably the best in the segment. It's very responsive, it supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it's very easy to use. Yes, it does look tacked on, but I feel like it's going to be just fine considering how good this system works. Of course, you get built-in navigation, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a Wi-Fi hotspot, and you have a lot of vehicle settings. There is also a new 19-speaker Bang & Olufsen sound system that replaced the 16-speaker ELS Studio 3D sound system. I don't really hear much of a difference, but it is absolutely amazing, and you can even get a 31-speaker sound system on the Type S Advance. I feel like Acura did a very nice job of updating the system, and I feel like it is still familiar, but it's still better. Overall, I feel like Acura did a fantastic job with this new infotainment system. It is still familiar, but the Google built-in was definitely the right choice. Now let's move on to the shifter and the cameras. This is the same exact shifter as the 2024 MDX, so you just push for drive, push again for sport. You also have neutral, reverse, and park. There is a button at the end of the stock, so that's going to bring up your forward-facing camera and a wheel shot so that you don't curb these beautiful 20-inch alloy wheels. When you go into reverse, that will bring up a very high-resolution backup camera, and you do get multiple different views and active trajectory. The parking sensors also work quite well. When you pull up to an object like this tripod, it's going to alert you right there and on the gauge cluster. It's also going to get louder and faster as you approach the object. I would like for there to be an auto camera that would automatically turn on under speeds of 5 miles per hour like Toyota and Lexus are doing, but I feel like this is going to be just fine. It's very easy to use and very easy to access. You just push the button and you have the camera up. Up top, there's going to be a standard rear view mirror, and you also have this large panoramic sunroof. Now let's take a look at the passenger side and see what it's like in the MDX Advance. The door panel is quite nice. You get a good amount of storage at the bottom, a lot of leatherettes, open portalwood trim, a metal speaker grille, and of course, memory seating for 3. The seats carry over from the driver's side, so they're going to be super comfortable and they will have heating, ventilation, massage, and 16-way power adjusting. In front of you is going to be a lot of gloss black, some leatherettes, and open portwood trim, and of course you can rest your knee against this brown leatherettes. In the glove box, it's going to be felt lined and there is a good amount of space, and of course I cannot forget about the power outlets on the side. Overall, the passenger side is a very nice place to spend time, especially with those seats. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the rear. Taking a look at the door panel, you get less drawers on the front, but you get leatherettes, open portwood trim, sunshades, and a metal speaker grille. The seats may not have all of the goodies from the front, but they are still super comfortable. They will be quilted and you get black piping and contrast stitching. They also have heating and they can manually slide and recline. In the back of the MDX, I have plenty of legroom behind the seat that is slid almost all the way back. There is also a seat back pocket, and the seat back is going to be in plastic so that it's a little bit easier to clean. You're going to find your third zone of climate control as well as your heated seat controls in this giant pool of gloss black, which may not be so good for the second row because the kids are most definitely going to get this scratched up. There will be 2 vents underneath that as well as 2 USB-C ports and a power outlet. However, Acura is no longer including a household style outlet on any MDX models. For 2025, the MDX still has the special middle seats. You can fold it down for 2 cup holders in a storage area, but you can't completely remove it to give you the full captain's chair experience. It will also give you better access to the third row. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get right into the third row. Access into the third row with the middle seat in place is going to be super easy because you just push that button. As you can see, the legroom is not fantastic in the third row, but kids should be just fine. As far as amenities are concerned, you get a plastic armrest, a cup holder, and a USB port, but there are still no vents for the third row. The cargo area is also super important in the largest Acura SUV, so let's go ahead and get right into it. There is hands-free access on the MDX Advance, but for now I'm just going to use the key fob. Behind the third row, you're going to find 16.3 cubic feet of space. That is not going to be class leading, but that should be plenty. There's also a cubby as well as a tow hook and a power outlet. Behind the second row, you're going to find 39.3 cubic feet of space, and as a maximum, you're going to find 71 cubic feet. Now, the MDX really shines when it comes to underfloor storage. You can lift this up, and as you can see, there is a lot of space, and you can actually take the lid and put it at the bottom in case you have something a little bit taller and you don't want to impede on your visibility. You can also flip it around for a plastic surface so that it is a little bit easier to clean if you go to the beach. Now let's take a look at the powertrain. I am very happy to say that Acura kept their tried and true 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6. That still makes 290 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque. All of that is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and you get 19 miles per gallon in the city, 25 on the highway, and 21 combined. I wasn't able to film a good acceleration test because the roads were a little slick, but here's a clip of the 2024 MDX with the same engine. Competition is stiff in the luxury 3-row crossover segment, so let's go ahead and talk about the main competitors. The main competitors are the Lexus TX 350 Luxury, the Audi Q7 45 Premium Plus, the Infiniti QX60 Autograph, the Lincoln Aviator Reserve, the Buick Enclave Avenir, and the Cadillac XT6 Premium Luxury. I feel like the primary rivals to the MDX are the TX and the Enclave. They both offer a lot of space, a lot of luxury on the inside, and they are very similar in terms of pricing. In my opinion, the MDX blows them out of the water. The MDX has a very sporty and elegant design, and I don't love how boxy and large the Enclave is, and I don't love the way the TX looks, especially up front. Additionally, the MDX comes with a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6. On the Enclave and the TX, you get very rough-sounding 4-cylinder engines. The TX's 4-cylinder could be faster, and the Enclave's is just plain slow. It also sounds absolutely terrible. So there you have it, the MDX is probably your best bet in the luxury 3-row crossover segment, unless you need a hybrid or more space in your third row. The MDX is the perfect size at 198 inches long and 78 inches wide. Well, that is going to wrap up today's video on this 2025 Acura MDX Advance. There is no other way to put it besides this is the best luxury 3-row crossover you can buy. The only bad things I could find about this car are the fact that the third row isn't exactly spacious and comfortable for larger children or adults, and there are no vents in the third row after all these years. But if you can get around those two things, you would love to own the Acura MDX. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.